Boom! What is up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how Coinbase stock just went absolutely parabolic following an agreement that they made with the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock. Okay, so of course we will be going over the specifics of the agreement itself, but I also want to dive into the charts with you guys and talk to you about where I see coin potentially going over the coming months. Because personally, I still feel that more mean reversion to the upside is in order, especially after this news and especially with earnings coming up. So I want to talk to you guys about the range that I'm personally targeting and do my best to rationalize that range for you. Okay, that said, there is something you should be mindful of. Hint, hint, right here, because the price action that we've been seeing may not be entirely organic. So if you're an investor in Coinbase, if you hold call options in Coinbase, there are some things you should be mindful of, and we will be covering that as well. Okay, so on the note of call options, before we dive into the video, you guys, there is some celebration in order. If you are part of Waves Capital, if you're a subscriber to the portfolio group or the newsletter, you would know that the past 3 days, the first few days of August, have been personally the best of my entire career. If you happen to see this, then you would know that. If you're, once again, subscribed, you would know that as well. And I trust a lot of you are winning with me. So if you're not interested in this, if you just want to skip forward to the Coinbase stuff, that's perfectly fine, all good with me. But once again, if you're part of Waves Cap, there's some celebration in order. There is some cheering in order. So let's make this quick. But once again, we're 3 days into August. So far, it's been the most profitable start to a new month that I've had in my entire career, which is roughly 8 years. And I hope you're eating good with me. If you're still here, then you've earned your place and you've earned these profits. Cheers, Wave Cap. Cheers to more wins to come. If you recognize this guy right here, boom, that's him. So that said, you guys, let's read over the Gatsby newsletter. Again, just celebrate a little bit. And this does, of course, line up with Coinbase and some of the calls as well. So I will do my best to integrate this in a practical way if you're watching and not part of Waves Capital just yet, okay? So it's Wednesday. What a Wednesday it is. This one is for the Waves Cap history books. I'll remember this day for the rest of my career. The August awakening, as we've been saying, is real. You're part of the team at this moment in time. That you had the emotional fortitude to weather the macro storm, and you belong here. Hardship is what separates the winners from the losers, and I take massive pride in the fact that if you're reading this, you're a winner. Before we dive into trades, we were right to be celebrating early because I knew this was going to be big. But yesterday, you guys, at the time of recording, that move with SoFi, a lot of the call options that we had in place, a lot of the winners, a lot of the winning growth stocks that we've been talking about, absolutely printed. Like I'm talking 2 to 3x the net worth or 2 to 3x the investment portfolio in a single day. That's life-changing gains, you guys. So cheers, team. This party is far from over. Okay, so cheers to you guys as well. Been cheersing on the IG as well. Have this right here. Barely plugged this, but I figured I'd plug it because we got some fun stuff down the pipeline. Also have a little lifestyle vlog that I do want to share with you guys that I'm excited to do. Just switch up the content a little bit, but it's a good time to be part of Waves Capital, you guys. And once again, do the good old Gatsby cheers. I should have brought some champagne, but that's all good. Cheers to you guys. I trust you're eating good with me. And please drink up for the home team. All right. That said, cheersing it out of the way. Of course, you guys, if you're watching this and you're not yet part of Waves Capital, $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. I mean, as of the last day or two, this would pay itself off many times over, regardless of how much you're trading with. So that's the first link down below. You get a full breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, updated every single trading day. I do rationalize my trades in the email newsletters, and of course, you get every single newsletter as well. So join Waves Cap, you guys. Join the winning team. $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Up to you. You can always unsubscribe, but I trust you'll be sticking around for quite a while. Okay, so cheers to you guys. Let's get into Coinbase, but before that, I also want to go over just quickly my thoughts on Coinbase. So this, you know what, we'll go over this after we read through the article, all right? And then we'll dive into the charts and talk about those upside price targets. Okay, so Coinbase shares soared 10% in boost from meme traders, BlackRock crypto deal. Okay, so of course this did taper off over the day because Coinbase at one point rose 10%, but early in the day, they were up as much as 40%. Shares of Coinbase soared Thursday after the crypto exchange announced a partnership with BlackRock that will allow its institutional clients to buy Bitcoin. Services in the company's prime offering will be available to clients of BlackRock's portfolio management platform for institutional investors. So the fact that it's for institutional investors, you guys, is especially good news because obviously BlackRock, with 8 trillion AUM or assets under management, I mean, that shows the scale. Now, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, as I just said, with more than $8 trillion under management. But that $8 trillion is coming from somewhere. That doesn't mean it's their $8 trillion, right? It's a whole bunch of funds, it's other institutions, it's pensions, it's everything across the board that are giving BlackRock their money to invest. And now that there is $8 trillion of AUM, once again, assets under management, that have the capability of investing into the crypto markets, that is a lot of capital that will come out of probably more legacy asset classes like gold and silver, other just real estate, whatever, bonds, etc., into the crypto space. Okay, so that is a lot of potential liquid that is heading for crypto. And of course, given the recent sell-off and recent liquidations, this is a great time for people to get exposure, for investors who may not have been exposed in crypto to get exposed, because now the dust is settled and now's the time to buy for the long term, of course. So the ticker coin also became one of the most mentioned names Thursday. So there's a little red flag here, but should be okay. I'll explain why. Thursday on Reddit's Wall Street Bets chat room, topping GameStop's popularity in the online forum, according to alternative data provider Quiver Quantitative. Okay, so this isn't a huge deal, you guys, but this is very, very visible when we look at the price action today. I mean, up 40% to kick off the trading day, but tapered off significantly over the course of the day and did close the day up only 10%. Of course, this call is still absolutely printed, but I'm still feeling all right about this trade personally, you guys. I will say that money where my mouth is, I am holding the majority of my position, although I did take some profits today. Again, if you're part of the portfolio group, I hope you did as well, but did take some profits today. Still holding the majority of my position because, as I just implied, I do still feel more upside mean reversion is in order over the coming months heading into the fall season. But let's finish this up and then we can dive into the charts. Okay, so quick quote from Joseph Kalman, global head of strategic ecosystem partnerships at BlackRock. Okay, our institutional clients are increasingly interested in gaining exposure to digital asset markets and are focused on how to efficiently manage the operational life cycles of these assets. The partnership will let them manage their Bitcoin exposures directly in their existing portfolio management and trading workflows. So once again, you guys, big money, institutional adoption. This is all very, very obviously good news for Coinbase. And yeah, I believe that will be reflected in the stock price. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on with Coinbase. This has played out, you guys, so well. If you go watch the recent Coinbase video I made, it's probably a week or more ago now. But we're talking about how things would get extremely exciting if this long-term line of resistance was broken. And obviously, this little tailwind, this boost from BlackRock is massive. But this just shows how a lot of times when the technicals, like when something happens, when something significant happens from a technical level, the quantum realm steps in, right? The aliens step in or whatever. I'm just kidding. But there is, I mean, I've seen this so many times, you guys. Something significant happens from a technical perspective. In this scenario, it was the break of macro resistance, of overall resistance, which is this orange line right here, dating all the way back to Coinbase's all-time high back in November of 2021. And once we broke that, boom, saw a nice move up. And then the following day, we got that news from BlackRock about this BlackRock agreement. And we are in textbook breakout mode. Okay, so my initial target, as some of you guys know, was this gap range in early May from about $95 to $100. And this is similar to Riot too. And that's why Riot, my price target for Riot is still $9 in the short term. I think Riot's a sleeping giant. Just covered that in the newsletter as well. But I do think Coinbase, again, given this fundamental momentum and the momentum around the growth stock, just the growth stock market, growth stock sectors in general, I do think Coinbase, along with many other names, SoFi of course as well, we'll see further upside moving through August and moving through September as well. Okay, so the range that I'm personally eyeballing is this range from $165 to $215. Now, this is a very, very significant range. Let's bring up a price range real quick. The difference between the bottom end of this range and the top end of this range is 30%. But what I think is going to happen is that this area will definitely pose as some resistance. I do think this will as well, just because you have some touch points over here. So I will say that the $150 level, solid psychological even as well, will definitely come into play. But when it comes to Coinbase settling, Coinbase really finding its footing and spending an excessive amount of time in a specific range, I think it's going to be this area, okay? So the top end of this range, $215, we'll call it 210, did act as a very, very significant line of support or floor for Coinbase over pretty much the entirety of Coinbase's life cycle. This previous floor, once again, came into play back here as a new ceiling. Okay, so previous floors become new ceilings, previous resistance, new support, TA 101, as we always say. The bottom end, because I don't think Coinbase will get back up to these levels for quite a while, if I'm being honest, just given the nature of the economy, given the mania that we were in 2021. But I do think that this area over here, which acted as a floor, will once again come into play as a new ceiling short term. So I do think 150 to 160, we could see a short term correction there. But ultimately, I think where Coinbase will settle in for the longer term is from this $165 to $210 range, just ballparking. And I do think that that's where we'll probably trade in the range of for quite a while. And I believe something similar will happen for most of the stocks that have just been completely oversold and beaten into the ground. Okay, so let's read over this and then close it out. Okay, this was inarguably bullish news for Coinbase, and it's news that the crypto space as a whole desperately needed. It's easy to forget about the long-term potential of a promising asset class or technology when they're causing your net worth to plummet. But this agreement acts as a massive stamp of approval. Crypto is here to stay. This always seems obvious in retrospect, but after an extended period of doom and gloom, news like this acts as a necessary reminder. Obviously, this news is propelling the stock higher, but word on the street is that the infamous Wall Street Bets crowd is back, so just be wary of that. And as I said, I'll record a video on this bad boy, so here I am. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you were investing in Coinbase, if you were backed up on Coinbase with me, if you've had an amazing start to your August. And of course, you guys, again, if you want to hopefully have an amazing rest of your August and September, October, November, December, rest of your 2022 year, going to the new year. Let's hope we enter 2023 with some fireworks. And yeah, if you guys want to join Waves Capital, once again, if you want to join the winning team, then I'll see you in there. Just hit the first link down below. Okay, so I'll call it a day, you guys. Again, check out the IG just to follow some fun live stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys downstairs in the comments below. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, team.